Greetings and welcome to the Reparenting Daily podcast. In this podcast, we'll dive deep into reparenting, exploring all of the tools and resources that you'll need to help you along your journey. This podcast is divided into 3 sections. The first is a daily reading. The second is a discussion of the reading followed by suggested journal prompts. And the last section is a peaceful meditation for closing. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whenever and wherever you're joining us today. I'm so glad that you're here as we continue on this journey of self-expansion and growth. If this is your first time, welcome. Before we dive in, a quick reminder. Like, share, and subscribe to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Your support here helps spread the word and grow this community of self-reparenting. Now for a few updates. First, I'm excited to introduce our Patreon community, where for a small monthly fee, you can join us for 3 weekly reparenting support meetings. Sundays, we have a guided meditation for emotional grounding. On Tuesdays, we have a book club discussion for deeper discussions and growth. And on Thursdays, we have open topic conversations for real-time support on any topics that may come up. You can find all of the details about what's included in this community by going to the Reparenting Daily website and checking out the community tab. In addition, we now have a WhatsApp support group, a global network of fellow travelers available anytime you need encouragement, guidance, or a simple connection. This is just one of the many ways we're building a strong, supportive space for your reparenting journey. The next announcement is that I've just released my first few books. The first is the Reparenting Daily Journal, a structured 365-day guide to help you work through reparenting day by day. Starting in 2025, each month focuses on a key theme with weekly sub-themes. The Reparenting Daily podcast episodes align with the journal, making it an interactive and immersive experience to help you stay focused and ensure real progress this year. Now for the next announcement, I'm thrilled to introduce Fairy Tales for Reparenting Daily, a collection of 3 books inspired by Jungian analysis, mythology, philosophy, psychology, and most importantly, the work of Marie-Louise von Franz. These short, simple stories are designed to help you reconnect with your inner child and experience healing through storytelling. What makes these books unique? Well, at the end of each story, there's a deep dive analysis exploring its themes, explored by journal prompts to help you reflect on how these lessons relate to your personal journey. All of these books are now available on Amazon, so go ahead and take a look and support this project. Reparenting is a journey of growth, iterative change, and continuous improvement. Much like nurturing the bonsai tree, it requires patience, care, consistency, and attention. Thanks for being here and supporting this work, and for committing on your journey of self-expansion. Now, without further ado, let's dive into today's practice. Today's article is a reading entitled The Immense Importance of Personal Integrity. Do you keep your promises to yourself? This is an article from Walkabout Saga. Just as a reminder, the month is March, and the theme is building self-trust and self-confidence. We're in week 2, which is March 8th until the 14th, and the theme for this week is keeping promises to yourself. What happens when we live in integrity? From my vantage point this morning, as the early morning sun rises into my office window, there's a lot going on that's awfully good. Truth, there's plenty that isn't. Go wander anywhere on social media or major headlines. That said, perhaps there's a common denominator: integrity. What an old-fashioned idea, right? Live up to our promises, keep our words, do what we agree to. One of my first acts this morning was to report, block, and delete a medium scammer who, by virtue of writing on the platform, agreed to a certain set of behaviors which he promptly broke. That seems to be the fashion these days. Agree to a standard and promptly go off the reservation, and in the process hurt a lot of other people. While I can't police the world, I can indeed police myself, and sometimes I will do what I can about other people's behavior. Say, a drunk driver weaving in and out of traffic at high speeds, because said behavior is bad for the greater good. However, the far more important relationship is integrity to the self. The lack thereof, in my humble opinion, is why we see so many people scam, break the law, do whatever it takes to get theirs at the cost of many. This is most fashionable these days, essentially among the one percenters and those who wish to emulate them. Too many of us, it seems, want to be Tony Stark, a brilliant and rich piece of shit Marvel character who takes no responsibility for the damages he does to people and places, at least until he sacrifices himself in the Avengers. But that doesn't change the fact that he's still a rich, arrogant piece of shit who really, ultimately doesn't care about anyone but himself. Let's talk. Integrity. Number one, the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles and uprightness. And number two, the state of being whole and undivided. Further, the word integrity evolved from the Latin adjective ingenter, meaning whole or complete. It is divided as an undivided or unbroken completeness, or a state of being whole or complete. Thank you, and that's the reading for today. Please do check out the link in the show notes to read the entire article. Welcome back. Living in integrity is a powerful concept in reparenting and self-expansion because it reflects both wholeness and accountability, two things many of us lacked in childhood. When we were raised in environments where promises were broken, emotions were dismissed, or values compromised, we often internalize self-doubt and mistrust. We may have learned to betray ourselves just to survive, expressing our needs to please others, or tolerating mistreatment to maintain connection. Reparenting requires undoing that conditioning by rebuilding self-trust through honesty, self-respect, and consistency in our actions. Integrity is not just about keeping promises to others, it's about keeping promises to ourselves. When we show up for ourselves, honor our boundaries, and take responsibility for our well-being, we cultivate self-trust, confidence, and emotional stability. Without integrity, we remain fragmented, chasing external validation or success at the cost of inner peace. But when we align our actions with our values, we experience a sense of wholeness, the very definition of integrity. Reparenting is about learning to trust that we will no longer abandon ourselves. As we go into the journal prompts today, number one, in what areas of your life do you struggle to stay true to yourself? How can you align your actions with your values more consistently? Number two, what is one small promise you can make to yourself today and follow through on to build self-trust? Number three, think of a time when you ignored your intuition or compromised your values. How did it feel? And what would you do differently now? That's it for today. As always, thanks for being here and do be well. Now, this is the third and final section of the daily podcast. This is your silent meditation. Please find a space where you can be comfortable and undisturbed, where you can relax and spend some time with yourself for this 10-minute silent meditation. You can choose to be sitting, standing, lying down, or in whatever position makes you most comfortable today. Take a moment to simply be with yourself. Focus on your breath and gently connect with each part of your body. If thoughts arise, don't let them overwhelm you. Just observe them without attachment. Imagine them as leaves drifting down atop a river, passing by without needing your engagement. Stay present, grounded, and open to this moment, no matter what time of day you are listening and practicing this meditation. Namaste.